said, "O Sonika." Hearing these revealing words of Sri Narada Muni, Bhakti was very surprised. She replied, "O saintly person, you are very glorious and it is my good fortune to have met you. Within this material world, association with a saintly person is indeed the cause of all perfection. Just by once meeting you, Sri Prahlada, the son of Kaidu, conquered Maya, and by your mercy Daruva Maharaja gained the Daruva planet. You are the personification of all auspiciousness. I offer my obeisances unto you, the direct son of Lord Brahma." Comments on Chapter 1:1. The discrimination which is not related to bhakti is useless. It can only make a person materially wise, because it has no superior purpose. Similarly, knowledge and renunciation are useful only when they rise from devotion, otherwise they make the heart dry and hard. 2. Paraksita Maharaja was cursed by the son of Samika Asi to be bitten by a snake called Taxika and die after 7 days. When the king heard this, he renounced his kingdom and sat on the bank of Ganges intending to fast until death. Upon Sukadeva Goswami's arrival, Paraksita Maharaja asked him to recite Srimad Bhagavatam. Actually, every living entity is cursed to die within 7 days from Sunday to Saturday. Death is compared to a snake that will pay everyone a visit. While everyone fears death, they do not use this fear to cultivate detachment. Rather, owing to ignorance, they become more attached. This is the difference between Paraksita Maharaja and the common man. Hearing Srimad Bhagavatam makes a person free from the fear of death. That Paraksita Maharaja heard Srimad Bhagavatam for 7 days signifies that we should hear it every day until our death. 3. Srimad Bhagavatam is the property of the devotees of the Supreme Lord. Although demigods are also devotees, they are selfish and attached to enjoyment. This disqualifies them from drinking the nectar of Srimad Bhagavatam. When one drinks heavenly nectar, he loses his piety. But when one hears Krishna Katha, he is freed from sin and his heart becomes purified. Punya Sravana Kirtana SB 1.2.17. This is the difference between heavenly nectar and the nectar of Krishna Katha. 4. According to the second canto, Lord Brahma spoke the original 4 verses of the Srimad Bhagavatam to Narada, who in turn instructed them to Sri Vyasa. The proper process refers to hearing the complete Srimad Bhagavatam in 7 days according to the guidelines given in Chapter 6. 5. Visala is another name for Badrinatha. Lord Narayana, the presiding deity of Bharatvarsa, resides there, and thus it is visited by many saintly people. 6. Generally, a saintly person has no reason to feel either dejected or elated, but when he sees the living entities suffering, he feels unhappy for them. 7. This is the prediction for the present age. 8. Yavanas refers to the Muslim rulers who invaded India at various times, beginning from the 11th century. They were inimical to Vedic religion and culture. Some were tolerant, some Muslim destroyed temples and even forcibly converted Hindus to Islam. They even imposed taxes on visitors to the holy places. 9. According to Vedic custom, a Brahmana should not charge for giving knowledge. He is allowed to accept donations for his maintenance or send his students to householders for begging food. This custom ensured that only those who had interest in teaching would perform this service and unqualified people would not be interested. Because students did not pay fees, they remained indebted and obedient to their teachers. This system continued in India up until about 150 years ago, when British rulers introduced change. Under the present system, good relations between student and teachers are non-existent, and thus the whole educational process is degraded. 10. The exact Sanskrit is Kamanyakesisulinya, which can also mean that women will cut their hair. 11. A saintly person does not speak with women unnecessarily. 12. Jnana and Vairagya are the natural offspring of devotion to the Lord. SB 1.2.7. 13. By the influence of time, indicates the age of Kali, in which people lose interest in transcendental knowledge and renunciation. 14. All the holy places are subservient to devotional service. They follow bhakti. Therefore, wherever a devotee goes, that place becomes holy. 15. Transcendental knowledge and detachment from sense gratification naturally follow bhakti. SB 11.2.4. And discrepancy in this principle implies disturbance in devotional service. 16. This briefly describes the history of the bhakti movement in the age of Kali. There were many great Vaisnavas who appeared in the land of Dravida. Later on, Ramanujakaya organized and propagated Vaishnavism under the banner of the Sri Sampraday SB 11.5.38-40. Madhvakaya appeared in the state of Karnataka and preached very vigorously, nurturing bhakti. In Maharashtra there were some saints such as Tukarma in Pandharpura who propagated bhakti. But in Gujarata the people were more interested in accumulating wealth and thus bhakti was neglected. When one worships the Deha, the body, the worship of Deva, the Lord, is neglected. When bhakti is weak, then Jnana and Vairagya are automatically emaciated. 17 Vrindavana is the eternal abode of Lord Krishna and thus bhakti naturally flourishes there. But if one neglects hearing Krishna Katha, then Jnana and Vairagya remain in a fainted state. They get covered by Maya. As Lord Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita 5.15 Ajnanena Vritam Jananam Tena Muainati Jantava 18 Idam Sthanam Parityajya Videsam Gamyat Maya. This statement hints at Srila Prabhupada's travel to the Western world from Vrindavana. It is interesting to note that the Sanskrit proverb used in this sentence is in the passive voice Gamyat. This signifies that Shik Bhakti will be carried by someone. Because the Puranas are compiled by Srila Vyasa, who is an incarnation of the Lord, it is not impossible for him to make such predictive statements. Aghasura was a demon with the body of a python. He swallowed the innocent cowherd friends of Krishna, who later on killed him. Demonic persons, who trouble innocent people and seize their wealth, are like Aghasura. 20 At present in Vrindavana the study of devotional literature such as Srimad Bhagavatam is being neglected and Vairagya is being replaced with cozy life. Yet the land has not lost its power. 21 Sage Karbhajana confirms this SB 11.5.36. 22 The new varieties of grains, fruits and vegetables are hybrids. They yield more produce but are not as nutritious and delicious as the original varieties, which existed since time immemorial. We have experienced this ourselves because the hybrid seeds were introduced very late in India. For example, chapatis made from contemporary wheat flour have less flavor, and the texture is not as pleasing as those of bygone years. They become dry and hard very quickly and are not as conducive to health as those made of the desi grain which is now extinct. 23 The purpose of Harikatha is not to solve economic problems. Its real purpose is to nourish bhakti along with Jnana and Vairagya. 24 All the above predictions can be confirmed by paying a visit to holy places like Vrindavana. That the essence is lost means one no longer sees their influence. If, however, one performs these activities as prescribed in the scriptures, he will feel the positive influence. Chapter 2 Narada endeavors to remove Bhakti's distress. Sri Narada said, "O young lady, why are you in so much anxiety? Don't be melancholy unnecessary. Just meditate on the lotus feet of Lord Sri Krishna and by his mercy you will be free from all misery." One Lord Krishna, who protected Draupadi from the atrocities of the Kauravas and who is the lover of the damsels of Raja, has not gone far away. Besides, you are bhakti and more dear to him than his very life. On your request he even goes to the house of low-born people. 2 In Satya, Treta and Dwapara Yugas, Jnana and Vairagya were the means of liberation, but in Kali Yuga only bhakti can grant liberation. Thinking in this way, Lord Hari, the transcendental personification of knowledge, manifested you. You are the very dear beloved of Lord Krishna. Once you approached the Lord with folded hands and asked him what you should do. He said, "Go and nourish my devotees." You accepted this order which pleased him very much. To assist you, the Lord sent Mukti as your maidservant and Jnana and Vairagya as your sons. 3 You directly reside in Vaikuntha Dhama where you nourish the devotees and you expand yourself on this earthly planet for their nourishment as well. 4 You came and happily resided on this earth along with Mukti, Jnana and Vairagya from Satya Yuga to Dwapara Yuga. But in Kali Yuga, Mukti contracted the disease of irreligious pretense and languished, and with your permission, went back to Vaikuntha. Now whenever you remember her, she comes to this planet briefly and returns to Vaikuntha, but Jnana and Vairagya remain with you always. Mahama G. Badi Madhbhagavatak Mahama Mums. Being neglected by the people of Kali Yuga, they have become old and weak, but will soon recuperate, so you need not worry. I will find a solution to rejuvenate their bodies. O beautiful faced one, There is no other age like Kali Yuga 5 because you will be established in every house as well as in the heart of every person. 6. Hear my vow. If I do not preach your message, subdue all other religions and make devotional festivals predominant, then I shall not be considered the servant of Lord Hari. In Kali Yuga, those people who follow you, even if they are sinful, will attain the abode of Lord Krishna without fear. 7. The people in whose heart you reside become purified and they will not see Yamaraja, the Lord of Death, even in their dreams. Even ghostly beings like pretas, pisikas, rakshasas and daityas are not able to trouble those whose hearts are imbued with devotion. The Lord cannot be controlled by austerities, study of the Vedas, by culture of knowledge, or by the fruitive activities described in the Vedas. He is controlled only by bhakti, and the gopis are the evidence pramana of this. 8. On the strength of pious activities performed for hundreds of lives, one becomes attracted to bhakti, which is the only essence in Kali Yuga. On the strength of bhakti, Lord Krishna himself appears to the devotee. Those people who are envious of devotion are always miserable no matter where they go within the 3 planetary systems. In the past, the great sage Durvasa suffered immense misery for offending a devotee. 9. What more can I say? All vrats, tirthas, yogas, sacrifices and talks of knowledge are not needed. Bhakti alone can grant liberation. Sutta Goswami continued, Narada's conclusion glorified Bhakti and nurtured her. Then Bhakti spoke as follows. O Narada, you are very glorious and have unflinching faith in me. Thus I will always reside in your heart and never leave. O saintly person, you are most merciful. Just in a matter of moments you have removed my misery. But my sons have not yet regained their consciousness. Please quickly bring them back to normal. Sutta Goswami said, upon hearing these words of bhakti, Narada felt very compassionate and attempted to wake them up by shaking them with his hands. 10. He put his mouth to their ears and said, O Janana, wake up, O Vairagya, please arise. 11. Then he chanted Vedic mantras, the Vedanta Sutras, and the Upanishads. He recited Bhagavad Gita again and again. With great difficulty, they were revived, but overcome by lethargy, they yawned and were unable to even open their eyes. 12. Their hair was as white as the feathers of ducks and their bodily limbs were emaciated and powerless. Owing to hunger and thirst, they were weak and sleepy. Seeing this, Narada fell into anxiety and contemplated further ways to revive them from old age and sleep. O Sonika, as the sage Narada deliberated, meditating on the Supreme Lord, he heard a voice emanating from the sky. 18. O Devarsi, do not worry, your endeavor will be successful. O sage, you must perform one specific noble act that will be revealed to you by some great saintly person. 18. As soon as you complete that activity, Jnana and Vairagya will be released from the clutches of sleep and old age, and bhakti will reign everywhere. 15. These words were heard by everyone. In astonishment, Narada said, I cannot understand the meaning of this indirect statement. 16. The voice did not clearly explain the path one must follow in order to achieve perfection. Nor do I know where to find those saintly persons who will explain the process to me. What must I do to implement this order? He said, O Sonika, bidding farewell to Jnana and Vairagya, Narada Muni traveled to various holy places and met with the saintly people residing there. He asked them to suggest a process by which Jnana and Vairagya could be revived. Some listened carefully but could not give a definite answer. 17. Others stated that it could not be accomplished, while still others remarked that it was not possible to determine the correct answer. Upon being asked the question, several simply kept quiet while others wriggled away to avoid embarrassment. They were all surprised to hear this question and none could offer a satisfactory reply. They began discussing among themselves as follows, My dear friends, if Jnana and Vairagya could not be revived after the chanting of the Vedas, Vedanta Sutra and recitation of the Bhagavad Gita, then what can be the solution? And if Narada Muni, who is the chief yogi and saint, does not know, then who can answer? 18. In this way, wherever Sri Narada inquired, he got the same answer that it is very difficult to accomplish. He thus became very worried and decided to go to Badari, where he performed penance with the intent to find the solution to revive Jnana and Vairagya. Shortly thereafter the Kumaras, headed by Seneca, appeared there. 19. They were effulgent like a million suns. Seeing them, Sri Narada again inquired, O saintly people, it is by great fortune that I have attained your association. Please be merciful to me and explain that noble process. You are the best of yogis, most knowledgeable and scholarly. Although you appear like 5-year-old boys, you are the senior most saintly persons. You always reside in Vaikuntha and engage in chanting the holy names. You are always intoxicated with the nectar of Lord Hari's pastimes, which are your only sustenance. 20. You are always chanting the mantra Hari Sharanam, and therefore old age, which is caused by the influence of time, does not approach you. Previously, just by the flick of your eyebrows, you were Lord Vishnu's gatekeepers, Jaya and Vijaya down to this earth. 21. Later they were reinstated by your mercy. I am most lowly and I feel most fortunate to have your darsana. You are very merciful, so kindly bestow your mercy on me. Please reveal that process which the voice in the sky directed me to learn from saintly people. Please explain in detail how to follow that path. How can bhakti, jnana and vairagya become happy? How can they be established in all classes of men? The Kumaras replied, O sage Narada Muni, abandon your anxiety and be happy, for the solution is simple. O Narada, glorious crest jewel among the renunciates, you are the guide of those who walk the path of devotion. Indeed, you are the son of Bhakti Yoga. It is not very surprising that you have undergone this great endeavor for the Sakya of Bhakti. It is certainly appropriate for a devotee of the Lord to properly establish Bhakti Dashamlav, though various sages have propagated many paths, but they are all troublesome and generally can only elevate one to the heavenly planets. Until now, the process by which one can attain the original personality of Godhead has remained concealed, and it is rare to find one who knows this practice. We know the procedure the voice in the sky referred to, and we will explain it to you. 23. Please hear with an attentive mind. O Narada, sacrifice of material objects, penance, yoga, meditation, study of the Vedas and the path of knowledge, generally only lead to fruitive activities and grant residence in the heavenly planets. Scholars have said that only Janana Yajna, or the sacrifice of knowledge, is the path of liberation. 24. This constitutes the study of the Srimad Bhagavatam, which has been sung by great personalities like Sukadeva Goswami. Just by hearing the words of Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhakti, Jnana and Vairagya will be nourished. This will relieve the misery of Jnana and Vairagya and will make Bhakti blissful.